everyone, welcome back to our channel and thanks so much for joining me today. I have the cutest little deck that we're going to be taking a look at today. This is the mini Visconti Tarot, mini Visconti Sforza deck by Lo Scarabeo. Here we go at the bottom, and this is a mini deck. This is definitely the smallest tarot deck in my collection, and allow me to just, so here, for example, this is the Smith-Waite Centennial, just regular standard size edition. And then this is the size, the little Smith-Waite in a tin. So that is the size you then get. That's interesting. I just pulled the top deck from top card from each deck. They both have to be the 3 at once. So, you know, we've already shrunk it down that much. And then this is the size of here, the mini Visconti Sforza deck. So it is very tiny. It is a really small little deck. And I had seen a couple other flip through videos on YouTube before I purchased this deck. And one of the videos I watched, the person doing the video, and forgive me, I can't remember who it was, but they said this deck is too small, you can't read with it. And they just got it because they wanted to enjoy the Visconti Sforza art. I personally completely disagree with that statement because I've used this deck. I've had it for almost 3 months now, and I've used it a lot. This deck has really shot up to be one of my, honestly, my favorite decks in my collection. And as you can see, the box is pretty darn worn because I have just used it. It's lived in my purse, and it is an excellent deck to carry along with you as you go about your life. So here's the 2 extra cards that sort of come with it here. I'm going to zoom this in when I do the flip through, but this is the back of the cards. It's, fully reversible. Kind of nice. There we go. Yeah. And okay, so I guess it does come with this little, the little white book here. We will chat a little bit about that at the end. I have a couple comments, but nevertheless, so here are the cards. Let's just zoom this in so we can see these a little bit better. So yeah, first what we can do is I'll just do a quick flip through of the cards here so you can take a look at the imagery. They are beautiful. This deck reads so clear, but I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But first, let's take a peek at the cards, and yeah, I will be back shortly.
Sick feeling like it's okay to be fine, and that ain't right. Gotta get some new air, but there is none here. Got a sick feeling I'll forget how to talk, and that would be got some new air, but there is none here. Got a sick feeling, I'll forget how to talk. And that would be my love.
So that's a super quick flip through just to look at the cards. It's, you know, it's the Visconti Sforza beautiful imagery and artwork that we all know and love. Of course, and as far as I know, if after I finish this video I'm wrong, I'm going to be, no, death maybe? Okay, I know for sure that the Devil and the Tower card, there were no surviving cards for either of those from the original deck. So every time you go to purchase any sort of Visconti Sforza deck that is a reproduction, typically if it is a deck that has been restored such that it's a full deck and you're not buying a deck that is incomplete, those two cards will be gone through the artistic license of the creator. So if you're in the market for some Visconti decks, that's something I would highly recommend taking a look at in terms of comparing different decks, because of course there's different color palettes and slightly different restoration techniques and stuff and such, but one of the things you'll find very, very different from deck to deck, of course, is the Devil and the Tower card. This deck has been for me an incredibly clear reader. It has been super literal. I really, really, really love this deck. It has surprised me kind of at every turn. Sorry, my camera is shaking. My cat just decided to jump up on my lap and she knocked my camera. It reads like an absolute dream. Like as soon as I think I was probably working with this deck for maybe a little more than a month, and I've ordered, let's just say, a few different versions are on their way, a few larger size versions, because this is a deck that I really want to read with more in my practice. And I have no problem working with the mini style deck. It's a fantastic deck for travel, you know, moving around. It's very easy to fit in your bag kind of thing. And the artwork is just, I love this artwork. It's really, really nice. Note too that this isn't, I don't know, it's not metallic or gilded or, you know, any not gold foil, like metallic foiling. It's a matte. Well, it's a glossy cardstock, but there are different editions of the Visconti deck that have, you know, the flashy different colors, or the flashy gold, I should say. This deck is not one of them. Other things to note that are actually kind of nice if you're someone who's new to the world of reading with pip decks, or, you know, it's nice, even it was really nice for me in terms of filming this video and putting the cards all in order, is you do have the number up in the top left corner. So if you're, you know, kind of new to it, new to, like I said, reading with pip decks, and you flip something over that immediately, especially in the higher numbers, right? Look at that, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know. You can very quickly see it's nice because you've got the number right there. And it's kind of a love-hate thing I have with Lo Scarabeo decks, the fact that they have the writing on the side. The other thing I'll say that's nice about that, though, as well, is if you're someone who reads with reversals, it's excellent. Because when you get into the very symmetrical cards, like the 4 of coins here, having that border on the left-hand side and as well the number, you can tell quite easily which way the card is upright or reversed. And that was one of the things I did consider trimming that edge of the deck off, but I haven't done so yet, and I don't know that I will. So cardstock wise, it's actually got fairly decent cardstock. It's, I would say it's a little bit thinner cardstock perhaps than the Smithwaite in a tin. Of course, that's a US Games deck, so kind of comparing different publishers there. But it does shuffle really well. I am able to, so whenever I see reviews for larger decks and people always talk about, oh, my hands are too small to shuffle. Nobody's hands are going to be too small to shuffle this little thing. Like this is this is a very, very, very tiny deck, and it does a nice little overhand shuffle. Let me see, I can also do a riffle shuffle. Let's just put enough of the cards back together to showcase how that works. Oh my goodness. Apologies. Trying to do it. Let me just put the deck back together. It's actually like, it's a very good size little deck once it's, you know, the whole pack is in your hand. It's, I don't know, about an inch thick, maybe? Yeah, I would say darn near an inch thick. But yeah, it shuffles really, really nicely. This cardstock, I mean, it is, you can see I've used it quite heavily for about a month or so. It's starting to chip a little bit. I don't mind. I'm typically harder on my on my purse decks than the ones that just live on my table. But here we go. So yeah, there we go. Still getting used to it because they're tiny and a bit slippery, but you know, they're really, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked by how much I love this deck. It just really took me by surprise, and I've just really, really, really enjoyed working with it. One of the things I wanted to say, so let's just talk about the guidebook for a second. And now this is not, I'm not blaming, you know, Lo Scarabeo or anything, because this is very much so traditionally what we see in books about my favorite, my darling, my queen of swords. so here, we'll just take a look in the book here. So when you look at the one word, is it one word? Yes. So I'm just going to quickly, just because it's for your entertainment, the minor arcana. So let's just look at the kings versus the queens. So for the cups, or the hearts or chalices suit, the queen is wife and the king is patron. For pentacles or bells, it says the queen is heiress and the king is merchant. In the wands suit, we have the queen as friend and the king as entrepreneur. And in the queen and the sword suit, queen as widow and king as judge. So the queens get to be the wife, the heiress, the friend, and the widow, whereas the kings are the patron, the merchant, the entrepreneur, and the judge. Again, I don't read with books. Well, so that's I like to read tarot books, and I really enjoy books in general, but sorry, I don't read with little white books or keywords or definitions, anything like that. But we're not here to talk about that. But, I mean, I don't have a ton to say about this deck. You know, it is... I really like the embellishments that they have on these cards. I have found as well working with just that extra number there to be really quite helpful. Especially, I guess, more so than like the coin suit, things like the wands. When you initially flip that over, it doesn't, I don't know, it's not always evident to the eye immediately, you know, how many wands are on that suit. Or batons, I guess, in this case. But yeah, like I said, it's a very clear reader. I've done any sort of reading I tend to do with this. It's almost shocking the storyline that kind of comes out of these cards. They seem to be super clear. I don't even know more to say about this. I am absolutely thrilled and overjoyed about this deck. I got it at a local metaphysical store. I think it was only $17 Canadian. And I think it's around the same price on Amazon or, you know, any local bookstore or online bookstore. I think you might even be able to find it cheaper than that, and especially in US dollars, it's maybe around $10 or $12. So it's a very inexpensive, very, very reasonable deck. If you're looking for something to tote around in your purse, if you're in the the Rider-Waite Smith world, I do really love these tins. I am waiting for, does anyone know, is there a Marseille deck in a tin? Let me know in the comments below if that already exists. Because at the moment, I mean, I could always put this in a little tin, but at the moment I am just toting around this lovely little box that is getting totally beat up. But nonetheless, yeah, this is a fairly quick video. I don't have too much to say. I just adore this deck. I really love it. Thank you for watching. I hope you love it too. Let me know what you think of the artwork. Once my other Visconti Sforza decks arrive, it should be at some point later this month. It's February 2022 as I'm filming this now. I'll probably do either a comparison or deck of the weeks, so stick around if you are into the Visconti world, and I'll be posting more videos about that. But with this, I'll probably sign off. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. See you then. Have a great week, guys.